Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a bonus reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Pisces, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram, and my official TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Pisces, I hope that you're doing well. I was inspired to do these readings today regarding the messages from your ancestors, and what inspired me was this beautiful Mookaite tower. This crystal, I have so many crystals in my room, and every once in a while my eye will catch on to one in particular, and this one felt really significant. Mookaite, you can see here are these beautiful layers, and I was explaining to the Cancer collective that these layers were reminding me of, the passage of time, and it's like the deep past. And Mookaite is traditionally considered a grounding stone. So when we're feeling kind of out of control, we hold on to Mookaite and we kind of ground ourselves, bring ourselves back into the present moment. But it can also be used for family lineage healing. So many light workers today are breaking generational curses, legacies, outdated legacies within their family. Many people are the first to do whatever it is that they are doing in this lifetime to change tradition or uphold tradition. So that's what this reading is about today. I'm going to be using 3 decks for this reading. The Shaman's Dream Oracle for the overall energy, the Radiant Wilds Tarot for your tarot reading, and the Wisdom of the Oracle for advice from Spirit. Cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Pisces. Number 46, which reduces to a 10, corresponding to the Wheel of Fortune card in the major arcana of the tarot. Wheel of Fortune, divine timing, good luck, related to Jupiter, the planet of abundance and expansion. Spirit wanted me to highlight the word abundance there. There's an abundance of something. Interesting though, so the words are root girl, the disowned self. Root girl, this disowned, thank you Spirit, root girl, the disowned self. So as we were talking about this crystal being a grounding crystal, you couldn't get any more closely to the ground than the roots of something, right? But it says the disowned self, so it's almost as if what we are rooting down, or what we're supposed to be connected to, has been separated. Spirit is showing me just this morning, I have a beautiful, yes, you're beautiful, Monstera plant. I talk to my plants. I have a very beautiful Monstera plant that's right beside me, and if you've ever had a Monstera plant, has these beautiful big leaves, and they grow rather abundantly, and I was going to say the word prolifically, and you hate to trim plants because they're like your babies, right? At least they are for me. I have about 100 plants in my bedroom, and I just love my plants. So But today, I said, you know what? You need a haircut. It's okay. I need a haircut too. But we have to do these things so we can maintain our health and our beauty. I was saying this to my plant this morning. Yes, I was. And so I had to clip a few stems from the Monstera. And, you know, it feels a lot lighter. It feels better. I didn't clip that much, but it's almost like, you know, they say that when you cut grass or you cut plants, it releases, it releases chemicals. It releases a distinct smell when you cut a plant. It's that smell that you smell when grass is cut, right? They say that it's the plants communicating to one another. What they say about cut grass is pretty brutal, but it's this communication that something has left. Something has been detached from me. Where is it? And yet here I am, kind of stuck to the ground, stuck to my spot. So Spirit just showed me astral projection. So it's this sense of Pisces in their human body, disconnected for a moment from their soul space, their soul. Spirit just said that you may have been feeling disconnected from your higher self, out of a place of self-defense. I don't know why or what that means in particular. Like, I don't know, maybe the egoic, the ego side of you was listening to a message from the soul space side of you, and you didn't like what you heard. I don't know what that is. This is a channeled message, so there could be something here that you don't want to see, because this character in the middle here is looking down. I can't see their eyes really. So Spirit is showing me there could be something that, I mean, it's not that you don't want to see, maybe it's just difficult to see. But the number 10 card with the 46 reducing to a 10, this is the time, right, Pisces, that this is the time for expansion. This is the time to make yourself bigger than you ever could have dreamt. And it's almost like your ancestors are kind of huddled around you saying, it's go time. Almost like I'm seeing like a football field, and, you know, all the coaches on the sidelines cheering you on, but they're saying, there's no more time for huddling. You gotta get out there and play. And here you are saying, okay, I hear you, but how am I supposed to do that if I'm so, Spirit just said, stuck in my ways, stuck in my patterns, stuck in my ways. I want to expand, but how? This is the question that you're asking yourself right now. I'm going to get 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier, past, present, future. And at the end, pull 1 card for advice from Spirit, from the wisdom of the Oracle. Some similar cards to Cancer. Not the same, not all the same, but some similar ones. You may have Cancer placements in your chart. If so, you may want to watch that reading. 2 more, please, Spirit. 2 more. They're throwing out, thank you. Spirit was throwing out a lot of cards, but I just wanted 2. Okay. Yeah, you definitely could have Cancer placements in your chart, so recommend watching that reading. In the past energy, the 2 of Wands in the reverse. So right off the bat, I can see some issues in your past or what kept you rooted. The planet that they're showing me is Saturn. Saturn is the planet of restriction, very different from Jupiter. the planet, Saturn is the planet that represents Father Time, restriction, rules, and regulations, and coloring inside the lines. There's a truck that went by with big, big, bold letters, next day delivery. Okay, Spirit just showed me a very particular scenario. Maybe some of you out there, you tried to manifest something, or you prayed to Spirit, your ancestors, about something, and the very next day it got sent to you, spoken to you, delivered to you somehow, and it threw you off because you weren't expecting it, and then you weren't expecting it to actually come true that fast, and then it did, and it really shook you. That's for just somebody, that's not for all. Two of Wands can talk about trying to figure out our direction. Where are we going? What is our end goal? What is our goal in particular? But we're not necessarily moving it yet. We're still a little rooted to our spot when the card is in the upright. But now in the past energy, it was in reverse. So you were really trying to lift yourself out of what could have been a bad situation, or a situation that was just not productive to you. I don't want to put the label of it as bad. Maybe, you just realize that there was some cycles of repeat, and that's never a good sign. If we keep kind of, doing things over and over and over, you can't do things over and over and over and expect to get a different result. That's the saying anyway. It's true. And so I think there was a part of you that recognized that you had to lift out of something that was keeping you held, bound, because you wanted to move. You wanted to lift out of this disowned self energy. Lift up these roots. The problem is, in the past anyway, you have the Three of Wands. So that's lovely. Two of Wands to the Three of Wands. It's very rare that consecutive cards would come out in a tarot reading, especially one clarifying the other. It's not as common as you would think. There's 78 cards in a typical deck, and the deck gets shuffled constantly. So for these two cards to be kind of clarifying one another is significant. It shows progress. We went from the 2 to the 3. But the Three of Wands is still waiting energy. So in the past here, you may have recognized that there are restrictions placed upon you, Spirit just said, or ones that you placed upon yourself, or ones that could have been wrapped up in family legacies, traditions. There's some people, I don't know what country or culture you come from, but like some cultures, you live with your parents until kingdom come, all families, they live on a compound together, and you just never leave home, in a sense. And then there's some cultures where it's the minute you turn 18, kick you right out the door. Bye. So that's just an example. It's just this sense of what has traditionally occurred in your family and what you've kind of stood up against. The problem is breaking out of that. Then it's well, where do I go now? Well, I could do anything, but I'm still rooted in a sense, even if it's not to another person or a location. Maybe you've left that person, you've left that location, but then it's just kind of but what now? It's almost who am I without that? Who am I without these roots enmeshed in the ground, right? It's kind of, I don't want to say it's ugly, because that's not what I mean to say, but if you've ever done any gardening and you pull a deeply rooted plant out of the ground. It's just these tendrils, right? They look like brain neural networks and nerve endings, and it's just like very strange. It's a very strange thing to comprehend, right? So it's almost like the roots yearn for a place to dig into. They yearn for that. Or else they're kind of just like out here willy-nilly. I wish, I'm not going to lift it up because my plant, there's a plant in my window here, and it's one of the succulents that I have, and the roots are, it's definitely in its pot, but it has roots now that are above the soil line, and it just kind of looks really scraggly. It's just searching. It's searching. So that's kind of what I feel from this past energy for you. Let's get a clarifier. This is for a Pisces past. Wow. Wow. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where to start with this. Spirit just said, just start. Three of Swords is the heartache card. Swords energy is air energy, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. You could be dealing with one of those signs, but you don't have to be. This energy revolves around the thinking mind, the thinking space, our thoughts. In the Three of Swords, the thoughts revolve around heartache and heartbreak and pain and loss and disappointment. It's the hardest card in the deck, one of the hardest to deal with. We all go through it. We all go through this energy. But I want to point out to you the depiction here. Wait. So, this is clarifying your past energy. So you've recognized that you have been trapped and bound and restricted, and lifted yourself up out of that place and space. But there's always going to be this peace that travels with you. It's now kind of inhabited your consciousness, right? It's on your mind. It's permeating with you. Like, how long have I actually been telling myself these narratives, been told these narratives, upheld these narratives that are outdated, that are not productive, that are abusive, or we don't even have to go that extreme, but they could be unproductive to my life. How long have I been perpetuating that, right? It could be like really permeating you in the heart chakra. You see this person over here. That's who you're leaving behind. See how, you know, when a person has their hand on their hips like that, it's just like, oh, my back. That's what it feels like. The load has been heavy. It's very striking how large the planetary body, in this case the moon, is in the background. That's a moon, or it looks like a moon, but which is Pisces. It represents Pisces too. It's just like overtaking, and to me that signals mystery. In the present energy, another focus on air signs, the King of Swords, which is Gemini energy for me. King of Swords is highly discerning, highly intelligent, top of their game. Top of their games. Very funny because you could refer to these big cats as game if you were a hunter, which I hope you are not hunting these animals, but to each their own. But I'm focusing on that word game. This card came out in the Cancer reading, and a similar message is coming through, that we don't even see the eyes here. We don't see a full rendering of a face. And for you in the present tense, it may be as though you're trying to see how this had a head made of Saturn, and it's almost like you removed that cap. You've removed it. What is remaining, what is developing here is this big cat energy, this kind of sense of prowess, dominance, strategy, discernment. Cats do not, and I have 3 cats. I've had many cats in my life. I currently have 3. I will tell you, if you are not familiar, cats do not expend any extra energy for anything that they don't want to. And so I feel that energy for you right now. Like, we're not doing anything extra. We're going to get the most out of a situation that we can, and we're going to be very strategic about it, but we're not doing anything extra. We're not going through this again, is what Spirit just said to me. It's clarified by the Empress. Isn't that fabulous? The Empress, number 3 of the major arcana. This is Libra and Taurus energy. Divine Feminine, the Master Attractor. So this is just absolutely in keeping with like what I was saying, which was the Empress knows her value, knows her worth. She's not expending any extra energy for nothing and nobody. She knows her worth. She knows her value. She knows how to manifest and attract towards her. Empress is my favorite card in any tarot deck. I love the Empress. You know, I'm hearing that RuPaul song, like I don't know how many songs RuPaul ever had, but the one that he's famous for, RuPaul being very famous drag queen and like just a media mogul and kind of all around celebrity. He had a song, I think the song was called Cover Girl. It was just like work it, move it to the left or something. Cover Girl, like I don't remember, but I can hear the beat and the melody in my head. So it's almost like that. It's almost like this strut, this sense of ownership over your body, over your, I want to say reputation, over your persona. But what I see is still, even with this one, she's kind of in shadow, there's this like a little bit of like a lack of development in terms of expressing yourself fully. So in the Cancer reading, I talked about how this was the Cancer kind of meeting people where they were and mirroring the energy, which is why you didn't see the full face. But for your reading, it's fully intentional that you're doing that. But there is this feeling that I get that you want to show your true self. You want to show the world who you are, but there's this hesitation to do so. Can I get a clarifier, please, Spirit? Okay, Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. Sorry, it's getting a little bit darker, so it's harder for my camera to focus on this card. Knight of Cups talks about someone coming in with a message, an authentic message of love or friendship. So what Spirit is showing me here is that it's really about understanding who your tried and true ride or die soul tribe members are, because I feel like you have a lot of people in your life, but only a very few, like count them on one hand, Spirit just said, which is fine. Count them on one hand. That people that you would give your whole self to. Do you see how like this character, very open chest, very open heart chakra, very open solar plexus, very open throat chakra too, just very vulnerable, showing full rainbow, full expression of beauty and self and soul, right? But this Knight of Cups is somebody approaching you with that energy. And, you know, you have the count them on one hand people. Like, I only have 5 people or less that are part of my actual soul tribe, and everybody else is, you know, they're there. But it's almost like Spirit saying, you're attracting this person. See how these two orbs are very similar? It's like you're living in the same, it's like if you've jumped dimensions or jumped timelines, you jump together. So somewhere on the planet is this counterpart energy. I feel it's a friend, but there's this counterpart energy because you're kind of like looking at this same red sphere, using that energy in different ways. This is more to harness, and this is more to project. So this person is coming towards you. My question to you is like, what are you going to do? Are you going to incorporate this person into your world? Are you going to show them all of your exposed roots that may not always be polished or pretty? Might have something to do with your family, and every family has deep history and things they're proud of and things they're not proud of, and that's coming to the surface in this reading. There might be something in your family's past that is not the best. And maybe you finally met a person that you can share it with, or you're going to. Or you have. This is the present energy. Maybe this person's already in your life. In the future potential, Knight of Wands in the reverse, Queen of Cups in the reverse. So, both cards in reverse. Here they are in the upright. Knight of Wands, Queen of Cups. Knight of Wands is a card of it's a different kind of knight. This is a very authentic messenger. The Knight of Wands is authentic in the moment. This is like ride or die, and this is like fling. Somebody who's very spontaneous, fun, sexy, but not here for a long time. However, in the future potential, you got this card in reverse, which shows me that, you know, if an energy like this came your way, you're no longer going to entertain it. Because with the Queen of Cups in reverse, this is Cancer energy. Somebody who is loving, giving, compassionate, empathetic, generous. When the card is in reverse, it shows me self-care. It's like all of those words I just said, you turn back on yourself. You show yourself love, empathy, generosity, compassion. What was the other word I said? I don't remember. This is really telling me that you are savvy as to the kind of people you want to let into this place, because this place is very vulnerable. You know, the words are this disowned self, so there's still this process of you trying to figure out who you are, perhaps. And you can't just let anybody into that process. No way. It's personal, it's vulnerable. So Pisces is trying to figure out who they can trust. I'm going to get a card from Spirit. Spirit's advice. The Ancestor's advice to Pisces. Just one card, please, Spirit. Just one. Thank you. This one flipped over in the deck. Okay. Beautiful. Number 3, Between Worlds. Number 3, the Empress. Between Worlds. This describes to me transition, the transition of you from an old narrative to a new one, a brighter one, a more colorful one, one where you go from kind of a blank space. I just heard the Taylor Swift song, Blank Space. Where you go from that energy to something that is full of abundant color, depth, dimension. I think it's the expression of your truest self. I think this person is going to add that color. It's going to, or if they don't add it, they're going to help you to add it for yourself. They're going to show you the spectrum of color and what you can do with it. I feel like you're going to, well, you're a Pisces, so you're like already psychic. So you're going to know this person when you meet them. It's just about you giving them a chance. I feel a lot of reluctancy. It's just about giving them a chance. So that's your reading, Pisces. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Pisces.